So today I want to share the 3 rule of thumb to helping you guys to eat healthier. Rule number 1 is every time you eat, you want to have 4 to 5 ounces of protein. And first you need to know why. Well, basically protein is a building block to make your muscle, the tissues, immune cells. So when you catch cold or COVID, to help you recover fast is adding more protein in your diet. As the old saying, eating chicken noodle soup to help you recover, right? So the point is, by adding protein is helping you to build more immune cells so you can recover fast. On the other hand, the reason we eat every day, because food is a fuel. Without the food, eventually be dead. So there are 3 major fuel among all food we eat. They're protein, carbohydrate, and fat. So if you're not eating protein, you're fuel from carb and fat, right? So then what is carbohydrate? Is carbohydrate bad? There are 2 different types of carbohydrate. That is based on their chemical structure. And the first one is called simple carbohydrate, and they get their name because it's a simple one molecule. So when you eat it, it gets into your cell quickly, make your sugar goes up quickly. So they're from 3 food resources. The first one is called glucose, and table sugar and candies. So they give a sugar, it does not provide nutrition value. It's called empty calorie. It's not recommend. When I say not recommend, I didn't say bad, okay? So basically there's no good bad food, there's only good bad choice. So for example, a diabetic patient who was on insulin and he skipped the meals, all of a sudden his sugar drops. And to save his life, otherwise he will pass out, is to give him a piece of candy or a cup of juice. In this case, because it's simple sugar and make him sugar goes up quickly so he can be saved. And so therefore, there's no good bad food, there's only good bad choice. So if you end up eating candy all day long, well, that is definitely a bad choice because you're not getting the right nutrient, you're only getting empty calories. So therefore, I said it's not recommend, and I didn't say it's bad food, okay? So based on your medical conditions, you can choose the food that's beneficial for your well-being. And so move down to the next simple sugar is called fructose, sugar from fruit and vegetables. So we know sugar, the vegetables and the fruit, they provide us a lot of nutrients such as fiber, antioxidants, enzyme, electrolyte. So therefore, it's considered healthier sugar. The next simple sugar is called lactose, the sugar from dairy products. So other than give us sugar, milk, cheese, yogurt also give us calcium, vitamin D, and protein. Plus yogurt also has probiotics, helping your gut flora, your bowel, digestion, so also consider healthier sugar. So now we just review the 3 simple sugar. These are glucose, table sugar and candies, empty calorie, not recommend. And also fructose, sugar from fruit and vegetables, and the lactose, sugar from dairy products. These are considered healthier sugar. So there's also complex carbohydrate, and they get their name because their structure is a little bit more complicated than the simple sugar. And they are simple sugar linked together. They are starch, such as rice, potato, pancake, cookies, the typical carbohydrate we know. The less processed, the better, because when the food is processed, less fiber, less nutrient. And therefore, it's recommended to have whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, lentils, couscous, millet, barley, buckwheat, or you can choose starchy veggies such as pumpkin, yellow squash, potato, sweet potato, yams, plantains. Instead of have white flour made with cookies, cake, or bread or pasta. Okay. So we now learned the carbohydrate. So when you eating carbohydrate, it doesn't matter it's a simple or complex. They're all carbohydrate. So when you're eating carbohydrate, your sugar will goes up. Period. Okay. So your sugar is up, and that will trigger a signal to the pancreas to release a insulin, which is a hormone, and that's supposed to pushing your sugar in your blood to the cell. And there it will be used as ATP for energy production. Okay, so your sugar drops in your blood because insulin making them into your cell. Okay, so the sugar drops that also trigger a signal in the brain that you're hungry. Now, if you only grab carbohydrate again, your sugar will be goes back up again quickly, and the insulin will make it going down quickly because they make the sugar goes into the cell. So the sugar swings is related to craving, overeating, and weight gain. And that's also related to mood swing. When the sugar is low, you feel down and tired. When the sugar is up, you feel high and jittery. So you want to avoid that sugar swings. Instead, you want to stabilize the sugar. So how do we stabilize the sugar? Well, number one is by adding protein, because protein takes time to be metabolized. Eventually turn to sugar, affected sugar. And gradually, sugar is gradually goes up, gradually goes down in some spikes when you're eating carbohydrate only. So that's why the rule number one is important. So every time you eat, you try to look at your plate, identify protein first. So talk about protein. Now you wonder, where are they from? They are normally from two resources. One is from animal, such as red meat, poultry, egg, and cheese. And one is from plants, such as beans, seeds, nuts, soy, and tofu. So what are the difference between these two resources? So animal protein is called complete protein, and the plant protein is incomplete. So what has that to do with our health? Well, protein made with amino acid. There are non-essential amino acid. Our body cannot make it. So therefore, we have to get it from our diet. So when the food you chose not having all the non-essential amino acid, then you will be in trouble. And because they call it essential, they're just very important. Some essential amino acid involved with neurotransmitter. Missing that in your diet, you could develop depression, anxiety. Some involved with liver enzyme. Missing that from your diet, you could develop cancer. You can develop autoimmune conditions, inflammation. So therefore, it's important to have all the non-essential amino acid. However, when the person chooses to be a vegan, vegetarian, they just have a challenge into getting all the non-essential amino acids, simply because some beans, seeds, nuts, they just don't have all the non-essential amino acid. And the long term, so when they are missing this essential amino acid, and then gradually their body breaking down, they start to develop all kinds of issues. Okay, I'm not trying to tell you don't be a vegan, vegetarian. I'm saying that you could potentially be much healthier by eating a lot of fried food or a lot of meat. But if you totally eliminate certain food from your plate, then you have a risk to have certain nutritional deficiency or imbalance. Okay, because being a vegan, vegetarian, when you eat out, the choice tend to be limited. When you do cook at home, unless you know all the knowledge I just shared with you, you may not plan your meal ahead, knowing to complement different beans. So you know this bean don't have methionine, which is essential amino acid. You cook with another bean that has methionine. So by making them together, you can go all the profile of amino acid. But most people don't have that knowledge, and they don't have time to plan their meal ahead. So as a result, they're easy to missing certain nutrient. Okay, so as a result, it will affect their overall well-being. They don't even know. Okay, so adding a little bit animal protein is just a shortcut to helping you to meeting all the non-essential amino acid much easier. Okay, so that is the reason I want you to learn. Although it is beneficial if you choose to eating more plant-based protein, okay, but totally eliminate animal-based protein may not be as healthy as you thought. Okay, so that's the one thing I want to share. And go back to the portion I said, try to eat a 4 to 5 ounce. You may wonder why. Some people choose to eat a 40-ounce steak one meal. So when you eat a large amount of protein, first your body needs to metabolize protein through your liver, and then waste needs to be secreted through your kidney, through the urine. They're called ammonia. That's the byproduct of eating protein. So in doing so, you're adding extra burden to the organs. So this does not putting a threat in your life if you have a normal kidney function or liver function. However, when people have a compromised liver or kidney function, it can causing a huge problem. It can even leading to kidney failure or death. So moderation is the key. 4 to 5 ounce is good for most of the adults. So if you do exercise heavily, want to build the muscle, then you can add a little extra amount. But general rule of thumb is 4 to 5 ounce, between 30 to 35 grams per meal. If you're looking at your palm, as I say, a palm size is about 3 ounce, so it will be a little over your palm size for the rule of thumb for your protein need. I also recommend to get your protein food from a real food, not from a protein powder or supplement. In the US, it's very easy to meet your need unless you travel to a country who don't have food safety or security, then you can carry your protein powder. Otherwise, I recommend you to getting protein from real food. Okay, so we just review the rule number 1, which is 4 to 5 ounces of protein per meal. Number 2 is a bigger breakfast, small dinner. So most people like to do the opposite. They can eating a big meal at night and skip the breakfast. Well, there's a trend is skipping the breakfast to do the intermittent fasting. Okay, so I'm not saying that intermittent fasting it's not bad, but it has depends on your overall well-being. A diabetic patient or a person who is pregnant or have certain medical issues may not be beneficial to do intermittent fasting. But in the long term, so when you're choosing to limit eating windows, say instead you can eating or snacking all through your days, and when the food get into your stomach, it will be digested going down to your intestine. Instead doing that, you will only allow you to eating within this 4-hour window period, because your stomach have enough volume, and if you only allow yourself to eating this much food in this much time, then you only can holding this much food. You cannot force you to eating more than the volume you have. So therefore, you potentially to reduce your total food intake, and therefore you restrict the total calorie intake so that you can lose weight. And so you can continue snack all through the day, so then you will increase the total calorie intake. So that's one of the benefit. Practice intermittent fasting, and I'm trying to emphasize here is try to eat a bigger breakfast, because when you're waking up, so you have a whole day waiting for you. So eating a big meal is like getting the gas for the car, because food is a fuel, right? And to make the car perform productive, and so if you eating a big meal late at night, because food take energy to metabolize. So when you're waking up, your battery charge 100%. Any task taking out your battery. By the end of the day, you may only leave 10% battery, and you still need that battery or your energy to function, like to be alive, right? But if you're eating a big heavy meal, it taking more than 10% of a battery to metabolize food. So when the food is not metabolized properly, just don't assume when you're putting the food in your body, it's being naturally digested. If it's not metabolized properly, it will decompose, turn to toxic chemicals, instead of turn to energy you want, and it will turn to something you don't want, which is the blood sugar or cholesterol, or even adding inflammation, because food is a fuel. It's energy, right? If it's not utilized and burned, and it will turn to heat. So that can raise your core temperature. And so when you're sleeping, your core temperature is supposed to drop, and that make you feel sleepy. But if your temperature rise, and then in general you feel hot, you feel restless, it affect your sleeping quality. So you want to finish your dinner 2-3 hours before sleep. Everything's resting, so you have a better sleeping quality. And one way to change to the healthier eating habit is adding a snack between lunch and dinner. When you go without eating over 4 hours, your sugar drops. By dinner time, you're so hungry, you quickly eat a lot. So when you eat a lot, next morning waking up, no appetite. So you wait for another big meal at night. So it's a vicious cycle, right? The snack in the afternoon cannot be only carbohydrate, like a typical snack. Potato chip, pretzel, popcorn, ice cream, cookies, it's only carb and empty calories. So a healthier snack needs to have protein. For the same reason, stabilizer sugar and a healthier carbohydrate. And what is healthy carbohydrate? We just review it. So basically, these are the fructose from fruits and vegetables and the lactose from dairy products. So for example, a healthy snack could be Greek yogurt with berries. So Greek yogurt is high in protein compared to other type of yogurt. Okay, they normally have between 14 to 18 gram of protein per serving versus other style of yogurt have between 5 to 8 gram protein per serving. Okay, so you don't think that you're eating yogurt is you're eating healthy food. When you're looking at the label, a lot of time regular yogurt may have a lot of pectin, which is a modified starch. It's a type of carbs. So then you are eating a very limited amount of protein, which is because they're not Greek style yogurt. And then you were just having a lot of carbs from the modified starch. So in general, you are not doing about a fever as you thought you're eating healthy meal. Okay, so Greek yogurt combined with berries, which is a carbs, but is the carb is from fructose, right? It's healthier carbs. Another example is the peanut butter with apple celery. So peanut butter is protein, apple celery is a carb from fructose, right? Another example is cottage cheese with a fruit. Again, it's a protein with a healthier carb and fructose. Or another example is hummus with carrots. So when you're looking at the patterns, then you recognize when you try to eating healthy meal or snack, is try to know what is a protein food and what is healthier carbohydrate. So you can choosing one from each category, you mix them together, so you have a healthier meal or a healthy snack, right? So that's a rule number 2. Number 3 is have a minimum 6 serving fruit and vegetables. And first you need to know what is a serving. So 1 medium fruit is 1 serving, 1 cup of raw, half cup cooked veggie is 1 serving. So why we need to have 6 serving? Because typical American may only eating between 1 to 3 serving. That is based on the statistic. So we're eating so-called standard American diet, and abbreviated as SAD, SAD. So eating a SAD diet, leading 70% of the American population overweight, and 50% have diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, heart problem. It's truly a sad situation. So I come up with a smoothie recipe to provide to you because it's a tool for you to rely on. And so when you eat a smoothie a day, I already give you 4 serving fruits and vegetables. So when you're adding egg omelet in the morning, because omelet needs to add in some vegetables, that's another serving. And then we adding yogurts, berries in the afternoon as a snack, that's another serving. And dinner, I tend to have you to eating 2 cooked veggies, that's another 2 serving. So adding everything already 8 serving. So quick and infuse about it with a lot of fibers, reduce inflammation. The smoothie is also considered low energy density food. So I want you to be aware the volume of the food you eat because it keep you full longer. Okay, so we are eating the opposite, which is a high high energy density food. These are the food high in calorie, low in volume, such as ice cream, energy bar, peanut butter cracker. So they are small but very calorie condensed. So when eating this food, it does not provide the full sensation. Okay, feeling full is caused by several factors. Number one is the visual. When you see a big plate, you tell yourself, I'm eating a good meal. When you only see a small little thing on the plate, and then you tell yourself, I'm just eating a snack, that trigger you to eat more down the road. So when the food gets into your stomach, creating a volume and touching the wall of the stomach, sending a signal to your brain you're eating enough. It's called satiation. So if the food don't provide enough volume, you not feel satiated. Therefore, you will eat more. So I want you to learn by adding the low energy density food. So smoothies serve the purpose. They are high in volume, low in calorie, or you can using the bean soup, which has the beans and also adding vegetables, so they can give you enough volume because they are thick enough to slow down your digestion to make you full longer. And also another example is a salad. When a salad has veggies or some fruit, but it's only carb, you need to have protein. And adding chicken, beans, cheese, or steak, and you want to add some good fat like avocado, olive oil, through some seeds and nuts. So the salad is high in volume and also tend to be low in calorie. So by eating the so-called low energy density food, and the long-term consequence is you feel full longer, and as a result, you're eating less but don't feel deprived, because when people try to lose weight, they tend to just cutting back on their food intake. In doing so, number one is you feel tired since food is a fuel. So it's like you try to drive the car but not getting the gas for the car. So you be just in low energy. Number two is your metabolism slow down, and the human body has a natural protective mechanism. When you don't eat, your body thought you are in a hibernation stage. So it will slow down your digestion, your metabolism to preserve you to be alive. So later when you go back to your regular eating, and you will putting on your weight quickly and even faster. So that's why it's not recommended to restrict your diet if you do want to lose weight. However, by practice eating low energy density food, they are high in volume, low in calorie, to make you feel full longer, to make you feel more satiated, and also by adding more protein each meal, each snack, which help to stabilize the sugar. So when your sugar is stable, you feel energetic, you don't feel down and tired. So that is a long-term goal, is to eating healthy, eating low energy density, and try to have a bigger meal early of the day, smaller meal late of the day. So I want to just give you the 3 quick rule of thumbs. I hope this review helping you understand healthy eating. So every patient wants to be healthy, but in order to be healthy, you want to start from putting the right nutrient into your system so your body can perform, so you can truly be healthy, both physically and mentally. Keep that in mind. When you have some underlying nutrition imbalance, it can affect your mental health and leading to anxiety, depression too. Even you may not realize, but the body, the mind connect to the body. So I hope this review helping you. So until next time, I will call it today, and have a nice evening.